to the session on the professional practice placement assessment overview. Within this video, I'm going to be covering a basic overview of the two assessments for this module. So the key learning outcomes: students will manage their own personal and professional resources, knowledge, understanding, skills and experience and time, and professional development in order to achieve their own organisation's work objectives. 2. Work as a professional, ethical and effective critical practitioner whilst demonstrating a range of coaching, management or leadership competencies, demonstrating their development as an independent learner through the application of reflective practice techniques. And 3. Identification and successful completion of a project or case study related to a work context, understand and evaluate the structure, the major activities and responsibilities of the organisation. So, obviously they're what you're being assessed against. They're the learning outcomes of the module. Your first assignment is a written assignment, which is self-reflective writing. You're going to be completing a weekly journal reflecting on your experiences and evaluating your contribution and performance and any development needs, specifically focused on a SMART plan, identifying targets for further development. That's 2,000 words. And the second assessment is an oral presentation. So the presentation of a work-based project or case study which build on aspects of the student's subject area and previous experience, including reflections of similarities and differences in practice. That's 15 minutes. What you will also need to do for that presentation is also bring a report from your mentor from your placement, or your regional director or your director of coaching, and also a log of the placement hours you've conducted across this module. So let's focus on assessment 1. You've got 2,000 words, self-reflective writing, and you will see within the assessment folder, on the assessment diary and within the assignment brief, the submission date for this. You will need to complete a weekly journal reflecting on your experiences and evaluate your contribution and performance and any development needs, and develop a SMART plan identifying targets for further development. So what does that mean? It's kind of a bit of a mouthful. So you'll be doing a journal, an online journal, and you will find a video within this assessment folder for assessment 1 which explains how to access the journal and input information on that journal. You will need to identify the organisation's objectives, investigate your role within the organisation, so what are your objectives, develop a SMART plan on how you plan to achieve your objectives and identify any of your development needs. Use reflective models to reflect on your work, completing journal entries reflecting on your experiences and evaluating your contribution performance to your own and the organisation's objectives. Revisit your SMART plan and evaluate your achievement of the plan's objectives, and complete a new SMART plan for future development based on your evaluation. Okay, so I will provide a more detailed overview of this assessment and show you how that builds up bit by bit and how you're going to access that online journal tool. Assessment 2, as I've mentioned, is a presentation lasting 15 minutes and is worth 50% of the module. Again, you will find assessment details and hand-in dates within the assessment diary and also on the assessment brief. What you will do for your presentation is present a work-based project or a case study which will build on aspects of your subject area and previous experience, including reflections, similarities and difference in practice. This is going to last 15 minutes. As I mentioned, you will also need to bring a report from your host organisation or partner organisation, which could be your regional director, your mentor, your director of coaching, and they're going to complete that report. The report form can be found within the assessment folder as well, and you need to get them to complete that and sign it and submit. So, looking at a little bit more detail of assessment 2, I will obviously cover a whole video on assessment 2, but just to give you a little bit of an insight, start thinking about what you're going to be doing for it. It's a presentation of a work-based project or case study which will build on the aspects of the student subject area from previous experience, including reflections of similarities and differences. So, for example, you could complete an evaluation of your placement comparing it against another football organisation, the structures and practices. You could identify an area of improvement and put an action plan into practice to pilot a small project implementing this idea. Or you could complete some research or an investigation into your regional club that you're working in. My advice for this is have a chat with your mentor that you're working with or director that you're working with for possible ideas that you can conduct this assessment. The earlier you conduct this conversation, the easier this assessment's going to be, because they might actually have a project or a piece of work or a case study for you to actually conduct in the area that you're working, and you can work with them, so it's actually a live project. Hopefully this initial little assessment video has given you insight into the two assessments. You will find a more detailed overview of both assessments within this assessment folder.